Hey everybody, this is Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. This is a short clip to help address a common concern that people might have regarding maybe some previous experiences they've had with certain types of relaxation exercises that are often very highly recommended for any issue involving stress, anxiety, nervousness, fear, any of that sort of thing. And one category of reasons why is because the incorrect technique, the how, how the person is trying to do the breathing is incorrect. The thing is, breathing seems so obvious, and but there's actual methods of doing it that can either enhance relaxation, but there are other ways of doing it which can increase stress, and sometimes that's actually useful in certain cases. But for a lot, for obvious reasons, most people just think of breathing as breathing. So the incorrect technique is kind of important to be aware of. It's being a pretty important reason why breathing often falls flat. And at the end of this video, I'll include some references to things online that you can find. A lot of free things, like University of Texas has some great clips showing correct technique. But anyway, the second class of reasons why breathing often doesn't help people, in the past at least, is the why, as it says here, because they're doing it for the wrong reason. This is another thing that seems so obvious, but most people, when they look into doing some sort of exercise of that sort, relaxation exercise, they often approach it with the attitude of, okay, I'm going to do this breathing exercise to make the nervousness or anxiety go away. It may sound kind of crazy, but this is actually not the best reason. It's actually a pretty poor reason to do breathing exercises. There's a couple of reasons, major reasons why that's not a good reason. One reason why is because if you approach it with the mindset that breathing will make the anxiety go away, if you think about it, it's behind the scenes, it's reinforcing the belief that anxiety and nervousness are things that you need to avoid in the first place. So the idea of running away or fighting anxiety or nervousness or trying to suppress it, worst of all, that is really the same thing as increasing the fight or flight problem, which many people are familiar with, the fight-flight response, but also the fight, flight, or freeze, because that's what people tend to do, is they freeze as well instead of just running away, fighting. They kind of remain stuck, paralyzed in fear sometimes. So this is a big reason why it's important, if you do certain relaxation exercise, not just breathing, but any sort of thing really, that you don't approach it with the attitude that, okay, it's going to make things go away, because that's just kind of like buying into the whole unhealthy, unproductive attitude anyway. So the second reason why people sometimes have had difficulties is because it hasn't been approached with the understanding that breathing exercises of this sort, any sort of relaxation response exercise, is meant to entrain your nervous system, meaning it's meant to be done beforehand to prepare your nervous system in certain ways, like toning it actually, so that first of all, it's less likely for things to be set off in the first place, for the alarm to go off in the first place, but also if it does go off, that you'll be able to cool back down again more quickly. The definition of resilience. Second thing is that if you practice and develop the proper relaxation response, it's really meant to be used as one step in a process, so that it buys you enough time so that you can think through, okay, is it really an emergency? Am I really being threatened here? Is it really a big deal or not? That way it helps you kind of reassess whether or not something is actually a false alarm or not, which is almost always is in real life. So it's like the idea that if people practice like drills, like emergency drills, obviously it's better to do that beforehand, before an emergency happens. That way you know what to do more automatically, instead of running around with a like a chicken or something like that, with your head cut off or something like that. So that, let's say for example, like the old concept of like if there's like things on the radar screen, coming across the Arctic Circle, you can tell with a step-by-step process whether or not, okay, are these really nuclear missiles being launched from another country, the Soviet Union, whatever, or are they just a flock of Canadian geese or something? So really, that's just a weird way to think about it, but really, breathing exercises are meant to be a step in the process to help de-escalate the alarm, because it's not meant to make the emergency go away by itself. So Yeah, in summary, people need to be kind of cautious and aware of what it really means when people, typically hear that advice, like take a deep breath, relax, which actually you get that advice from friends, family, colleagues, people around you if you get nervous. They often, in a well-meaning way, will tell you stuff like that, which is kind of annoying, actually, if it's taken the wrong way. But also if it's taken the wrong way in terms of it's not understood of what of how to do it, as I mentioned, but also the reason why to do it. So yeah, breathing is pretty important, obviously. But one of the reasons it's not just important, but also an area where people can exercise leverage is because it's one of the few things in your body that you can actually consciously control and regulate. So as it says here, don't underestimate it. Okay, this is Steve, grumpy hypnotist, interested in hypnosis. Oh, and if you go online, if you Google things like, as I mentioned, the University of Texas breathing, if you Google that phrase, they have like a lot of great videos where people demonstrate, proper breathing technique. Also, Dr. Andrew Weil, Weil, has a lot of great articles on his site. Dr. Andrew Weil, explaining some very very simple breathing exercises. Plus, this stuff is free, so I mean you can breathe for free. So anyway, once again, Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. Hope this helps you out. Okay, thanks. Bye.